Welcome to Quick Picks for Week 2 of the 2015 NFL season, a 21st Sports production, where we go over all the games for Sunday and the Monday Nighter, give our quick picks and a quick analysis. First off, 1 o'clock games on Sunday, September 20th, starting with the Atlanta Falcons versus the New York Giants. I'm going with the Falcons on the road. I believe their defense is for real and will shut down a Giants offense that struggled in week 1, and I believe Matt Ryan is going to put up plenty of points as he's going to connect with Julio Jones at least once, maybe twice in the end zone. Then in the second game, we have the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. And it's the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. And I'm going with the unstoppable force. Is Brady Gronkowski is an unstoppable offensive force that's going to put up points. And although the Buffalo Bills got a great defense, I don't think they can score enough points against the Patriots to beat them. So I'm going with New England. Then we got the Arizona Cardinals and the Chicago Bears. And Carson Palmer should have a field day as he should easily throw for 300 yards and put up 2, maybe even 3 touchdowns. Although Forte will have a big day as well, it won't be enough for Chicago as Arizona takes this one on the road against the Bears. Then we have San Diego against Cincinnati, and I'm going with the Bengals at home. Both of these teams can put up points, and they both have good passing games, but the Bengals got a better rushing attack, and they also have a much better defense. So I believe their defense is going to be able to get the job done and hold the Chargers to enough points to where the Bengals can win this one that has the potential to be a shootout. So then we have the Titans versus the Browns in Cleveland, and I gotta go with Cleveland. Although Tennessee looked really good in week 1, I'm not sure the Tennessee Titans can travel and be triumphant. So then we have the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going with Detroit to win on the road in Minnesota. We saw what the Niners did to the Vikings on both sides of the ball, and the Lions got a much better defense, and they shouldn't have too much trouble running the rock against Minnesota. So then we have the St. Louis Rams versus the Washington Redskins, and the Rams have one of the best defenses in the league, and they should have no problem shutting down the Washington Redskins, who are without Deshaun Jackson. And don't be surprised if we see Tavon Austin returning another punt for a touchdown as well, as the special teams are spectacular in St. Louis, as they should win in D.C. So we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints at home are a much better team, and Drew Brees should exploit an offense that let up 42 points in week 1, and the Saints should not have any problem winning that one, although it could be a tough game as they are division rivals. So then we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Niners are going to be going to Steel Town, and I believe the Steelers win this one, as the Steelers show what the Niners are missing, is the Niners do not have the passing attack to win in Pittsburgh. If you're going to beat the Steelers, you got to pass the ball, and the Niners have not shown that they can do that successfully, so I'm going with Pittsburgh at home. Then we have the Houston Texans versus the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers did look solid on defense in week 1, but in week 2 with Houston coming in, they are without Luke Kuechly. Although the Texans are going to be going with Ryan Mallett, he did look solid, and he has looked solid in the past, so we'll see, and I actually have to go with Texas in this game. So that brings us to the 4 o'clock games, starting off with the Baltimore Ravens at the Oakland Raiders, and I'm going with the Raiders. The Ravens are without Terrell Suggs, and Joe Flacco struggled against Denver. Oakland's defense might not be quite as tough, but they will get after Flacco, and I believe the Raiders can win this one, as Derek Carr should hook up with Amari Cooper, and they should get into the end zone and win by maybe a touchdown. So then we have the Miami Dolphins versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Battle of Florida, as it's the North versus the South in the Sunshine State, and I got to go with the Dolphins. They got a solid defense. The Jacksonville Jaguars are better than they have been in the past, but in this game, Miami is going to win it, as they are one of the best teams in the AFC. So then we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles, is the Cowboys going to Philly to face their former rushing champion running back, DeMarco Murray, who only had 9 rushing yards on Monday night, but I believe he comes up with a bigger performance in this game. And the Cowboys are also without Dez Bryant, so they don't have too many tools at the disposal of Tony Romo, and I believe that the Eagles should be able to put up the points as they look very solid in the second half, although they fell short of the comeback. Bradford, I believe, was over 80, maybe 85% on his passes in the second half and should be able to exploit the Cowboys defense as Philly gets the win. So that brings us to Sunday Night Football with the Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. And this game has been an instant classic the last few years as these two teams have had some of the best battles that we've seen in football. And this game is going to be played without Cam Chancellor. And so the Seattle Seahawks, without the boom and the Legion of Boom, they're going to be at a shortcoming. And that is going to be exploited by Aaron Rodgers as he is going to take advantage of their weakness in the secondary without Killer Cam. And Aaron Rodgers should have no problem hooking up with whether it's James Jones, whether it's the tight end Rodgers, or whether it's Devontae Adams or Randall Cobb, who should have a big game, although he's been a little banged up. If he's healthy, he's going to be going for touchdowns and going for Lambeau leaps, and not to mention Eddie Lacy, as I believe Eddie Lacy should have a big game on Sunday Night Football. So I'm going with the Packers, and that brings us to Monday Night Football with the New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts in Indiana, and I'm going to have to go with the Colts and Andrew Luck. The Jets were looking really good in Week 1, but that was at home against Cleveland. Although the Colts struggled against Buffalo on the road, I believe they bounced back against this other team from the Empire State, and they win on Monday Night Football, as I believe Luck will have a big game, throwing for over 300, maybe even 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And the Jets will not put up the numbers, although they could have some success on the ground with Chris Ivory. I'm going with the Colts in this game. It should be one to watch, though, as the Jets defense did look pretty solid there in Week 1. But those are the quick picks for Week 2. Let me know what your picks are in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and have a great weekend and enjoy all the sports.